I guess, sorry, I've gone a bit weird now that I've pressed record. So let me go back. You were saying a moment ago, how long has it been since we chatted? I reckon
Yeah.
15 years.
Uh, 10, 15 years. Yeah, I reckon it was a North Queensland playing Warmachine in far North Queensland. That was the last time. And then I went off and, we both had a life. And I just randomly stumbled upon the Warmachine and saw your mug on one of the photos. And I'm like, hey, hang on a second. I know that bloke. And here we are.
Yeah, it was pretty funny. You messaged me at some point and was like, "Hey, is this you?" And I was like, "Yeah, yeah, that's my YouTube channel."
Yeah, that was
Um,
it.
yeah. How? Why? What have you played any games? Like, have you been on a big miniature game streak, or have you not touched one in a while? What's
No, so I haven't touched anything in 8 or 9 years, I reckon. It truly was. So, how this all come about and how I'm talking to you right now randomly in gas bagging is I had my second boy in April this year, and I was a stay at home dad for a bit while I'm looking after him. And I actually unpacked a box and I found my old Cricks sitting in there. Just random box that has been following me around Australia for the last 15 years. And there's a little Cricks. It's Denegra. Um, and I saw that and I'm like, hang on a second, I've got time to kill, nothing to do here. Let's just Google War Machine. Mark IV. I completely missed Mark III, and here we are. I saw
yeah,
the models. I just kept buying the cadres and kept painting them. And yeah, now I've got a whole stack of models and all the gear, no idea.
excellent. Why why War Machine? Like, there's a lot of games out there, and
Yeah.
some have different. I think the models in War Machine since Mark IV are pretty cool, but I would say prior to Mark IV, they definitely
Mm.
didn't have the coolest models. There were a lot of other games out there with some
Yeah.
pretty sick. Like, I guess, was it just because you had played it before, or because you've played Warhammer and
Yeah.
stuff before? Like,
Yeah. Yeah. I think it was like I was just sitting there and I remembered the actions taking of throwing models and all these power slams and stuff like that. It wasn't so much the models that interest me all that much. Like they're cool, but it was the actions of playing it. I was like, you know what? That's pretty cool. No, I could get around that.
yeah. So even though you were, because it sounds like you were mostly buying it to paint for like the hobby kind of side of things, but even though that's something you were primarily doing it for, you kind of still had an eye on, I might play this game one day, and so I'd like to paint models that might be fun to play.
Yeah, look, I've got two boys, one's 5 and one's 7 months, and I'm like, you know what? I'll paint up these cadres, you know what I mean, and maybe these boys might be interested in playing. You know what I mean? If I keep painting them, I might play them, but then one thing led to another, and I just randomly message a Facebook group, and one steamroller down, second last place, and I'm loving it.
Yeah, awesome. And I've sort of brushed past it too. You said 5 and 7 months, was that right?
Yes, no, 5 years and 7 months. So one's
Yeah,
5 years old and one's 7 months. So
awesome. Oh, well,
still in warranty.
congratulations.
Oh, thanks, mate. Yeah, it's good.
Um, so I don't know how many of our videos you've watched, but Tim, who's one of the other guys who sort of does this with me, he's got two kids, and well, I hope this isn't super offensive that I don't 100% remember their ages, but I'm pretty sure his daughter's 2 and his son, I would say, might be 5 or 6. And he's
Yeah, no.
really enjoyed like doing some painting with his kids and stuff like that. A lot of a lot of new, like, I guess technology's come a long way, right? So a lot of new models have a lot of detail in them naturally, and then because
Yeah,
contrast paints are so good, um,
yeah,
like even children can paint something that looks kind of cool.
yeah,
So yeah, it sounds like you haven't got there with your was sorry, are they two boys? Did I get that
yeah,
right?
yeah. Harvey and Henry. Yeah. Look, the boy, he loves it. So he likes the K-Door Ward Jack. I think it's Razorback. I think it's called.
Yeah,
Anyway, that I painted. That was the first one I painted up. Yeah, I've got it here. The first one I painted up. and the boy just loved it. He was like, "That is the best thing since sliced bread." It's his
Have you
favorite little model. He loves it. He walks around with it and all that. It's good.
have you seen so Tim did an unboxing that that two-player startup set. Tim did an
Yeah.
unboxing with his. Have you seen that one? If not,
No, I haven't. No, I haven't.
I'll
No, not
have to
yet.
send it to you afterwards. We've got it on the channel. It's pretty cute. He did another
Yeah.
unboxing with his son and his daughter, but
Yeah.
unfortunately he did that in school uniform, and that one's never going to see the light of day.
Yeah. Yeah. No.
um,
He's happy with that.
yeah. Tim's wife was not
I
happy.
wouldn't be happy with that.
Anyway, no, that's exciting. So I guess that was something you sort of got into. How how long ago was it, I guess, when you bought your first Mark IV model?
Yep. So the first Mark IV model was that two-player starter box, the Signa and the Red Guys, which is Kador. That was April this year. So 2 weeks after Henry was born, I was sitting there, and that's when I was unpacking that box and found it. And within 3 or 4 days, I Amazoned it to my house, and I still had a whole lot of paints that was still good from a long time ago. I've since gone a little bit too much with the paints, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I painted that jack up first. That was the first one, and yeah, ever since then, yeah. I don't know. You've seen my collection. It's full tilt, full time, nice and early.
Yeah, it's cool. Um, you've got the two-player starter set, and then
Yeah.
you've bought a bunch of other models. I guess,
Yeah.
what's your perspective on the plastics versus the resins?
Oh, look, the plastics are better, I think. Like the hips plastic, I think it's called. It's a lot sharper. Like I prefer that. And I think I'm just quietly biased between the detail that I can put on the actual model from Warhammer days and getting in Warmachine. It's really, really nice. It's smooth to paint on. Yeah, but the resin's good too. Like don't get me wrong on that. It's just different to work with, something that I'm not used to, especially gluing the parts that have fallen off. You can't really just use your normal plastic glues for that. But no, it's good. I've had one dodgy print of one of the Orgoth Reavers, but I just green stuffed it until it sort of looks half decent. You can't really tell as long as it's painted with the rest of the army, it looks good.
Yeah, they've got a parts. If you get any that are real bad, they've got a parts replacement. They'll replace it. The trick
Yeah.
that someone put me onto was there's a like a resin. I can't remember what it's called, but basically it's like resin glue, and it comes
Oh,
with a little like UV light. Um, and it's basically just like resin that you pour on, and you set with the UV light.
oh,
Um,
really?
and that seems to, I use that if I need to glue two parts of resin to each other, because I guess it's sort of like resin welding or something like that in its own little weird way.
Yeah, right.
Um,
Look, I wouldn't even know how to do any of that. That's a Google right there.
it's literally, you put it on, you put the
Yeah,
two pieces together. Unlike glue, it's got no natural bonding, so it's a bit annoying
yeah,
because you've got to hold it all in one hand, and then it's literally just like a little pen light that you shine, and within like a minute, or not a minute, like within 10 seconds, it's all hard and stuff.
yeah,
So
right.
it probably sounds more complicated than it is. Um, no, that's
No,
that's
that's good.
cool. And
Hmm.
you bought the models in April,
Yeah.
um, and then when did you first play a game?
Yeah, so I think I got about 6 or 7. So I got the two starter boxes, painted them up, and I started buying cadres, painted all of them up really. And then I was sitting there with them all, and I'm like, you know what? I think I might have a game of this. I might get back into it because I was sort of reading the rules, with the app as well. Like it was handy to have an updated app on your phone, which I wasn't used to. I'm used to hardback covers and little cards and all that. And I've got no idea what anything does. But so I jumped on Facebook and I was like, War Machine near me. I was a bit light on because I'm in Victoria. And then I sort of, one thing led to another on Facebook, and I ended up, the closest place was the Bendigo War Machine group. So I joined that Facebook group, and they were extremely welcoming, very good, especially Adam and Brock and a few, like most everyone. Like, I'm just going to give you two names, but the rest of them were
It's the
really good.
classic name problem. The moment you start naming people, you sort of have to name everyone. So
Yeah,
yeah, we'll give you a pass on that one.
yeah. Yeah, so I messaged them. Said, I'm keen to come up for a game. They told me every Saturday they hang out at this gaming store, and it's a bit of a drive for me. It's about 45-minute drive, so I'm committed on playing when I start driving. And then yeah, I went up there and told them I was really new, really fresh, and yeah, they just stepped me through it one by one because I've done. So I'll tell you, to start off with 30-point cadres. I did two 30-point games, and then 75-point, and then straight up to 100. That was it. There's nothing but 100 points in there.
Yeah, and you played. So what are we? We're recording on a Wednesday. You played the weekend just gone in an event, right? Am I making, or
Yeah.
is it the weekend before that?
No, I think it was last weekend. Yeah, no, it was last weekend. The Choreo Cup, the Freebooters Cup down in Geelong in Victoria.
Yeah. And so that was your first, I guess, like tournament. And then how long, if we go back, when was your first 30-point game? Like roughly?
I think about a month and a half ago, 2 months ago. Yeah,
Yeah. So you've been playing, essentially you started painting, got back in April, and then you've been playing two
yep,
months and you played your first event.
yep,
Yeah, awesome. In terms of the app, yeah, like I know you said that you're used to the rule books, you're used to the cards.
yeah,
It sounds you're relatively positive on the app. How did you find navigating it or reading it? I guess maybe I'll give you my experience, which is I like the accessibility of it. I just don't like reading stuff from screen, so I do prefer a
yeah,
book. And I'm excited that they've just announced that like the first rule book's coming out for Mark IV.
yeah.
So I'm keen to get that, but like I also appreciate the app, and I think it's really great too.
Yeah. Look, if there was instructions on how to, like, from the get go, from setting up a game, playing the game, or changing Warjack loadouts and stuff like that, I had no idea how to do any of that, and there's no real tutorial or clear video on how to do any of that. It wasn't until again the guys up in Bendigo showed they showed me how to do it. They're like, press this button, press a little circle, then you can kit them out like you want. You can choose your spells and all that. I'm like, sweet, I had no idea, and here we are. It was great.
Yeah, I guess that's an interesting, and this is why I was kind of keen to chat with you about this, is like the
Mm.
actual new player experience. Like the I remember listening to podcasts and stuff, and you get people who are talking about, they're like, oh, this is what it's been like being a new player, and you're like, mate, you fucking are on a podcast. There's no way you know what it's like to be a new player. And I had
Yeah,
that in mind. I was like, I want to do new player stuff, and I was like, well, by the point of it, a YouTuber, I'm not a new player, so that's
yeah,
the kind
yeah,
of stuff that a new player would look at, which is like there's not even a tutorial for how to build a loadout or something.
yeah. No, there's none of that. And again, like, kudos to like the guys in Bendigo, especially on that first day. They had the real patience to, like, we played a 30-point game. I got rolled, obviously, but it lasted 4.5 hours. Yeah, it was a really long time, but it was step by step. And if you don't have someone that's willing to sit there and step by step you from a returning old bull like myself, it's yeah, I don't know how he you tackle it as a brand newie.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, I'd be interested. Like, I'd love to see this hypothetical: two people buy a
Mm.
box, don't know anyone else, and literally teach themselves based on the app. And like, that'd be a real fascinating kind of experiment
Yeah,
to see.
no, it
Yeah,
would, it would, it'd be good.
yeah, you kind of need the word of mouth teaching and everything else like that.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, because it is a fairly complex game. Like that's part of what makes it good, but there's a lot to it.
Hmm. Yeah, the way I view it is it's chess on steroids and everything else. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like, it's like my brain, like, I use playing the game to switch off from a pretty intense job, all that sort of stuff, and with the boys and all that. Like for me, it sends my brain into overdrive that much that I can just completely 100% dive into it, and yeah, it's worked wonders. Like, but mentally, it's beautiful. It's that complex, so it's really enjoyable.
Yeah, and I think like I've so I guess my maybe this I'll tell you a little bit of my pathway, right? Because you said you spent like 8 to 9 years not playing any games, and then you've sort of jumped back into this.
Yeah,
I've probably generally since I last saw you always played some kind of game, but I've jumped between them.
yeah,
So I played
yeah,
Netrunner, which is a card game for a while.
yeah,
Like I stopped playing Warmachine, a long
yeah,
time ago. I played Netrunner for a bit. When I moved to Brisbane, because I moved to Brisbane about 7 years ago, maybe 8 years ago now,
yeah.
I
Right.
was looking for just a way to meet people. And so I tried to get into Warhammer, and that didn't work for me. I played
Yeah,
X-Wing. Did you ever see X-Wing, the space game?
yeah, 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 yeah. When I lived in Queensland, because I was up in far north Queensland for a bit there. Um, yeah, I played I think one game of X-Wing, or one or two games. I can't remember.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I,
that was with Battlefleet Gothic. that sort of era as well.
I'm pretty sure the last game you and I ever played was Battlefield Gothic. I remember you bringing it around to the old Stratford Club once, and we gave it a
Yeah,
run.
yeah,
Because I love the space games. But yeah, I played X-Wing for a bit there. Um,
yeah,
and what else? I did a few other bits, and then I got into Warmachine just after COVID. Um,
yeah.
and the I've literally forgotten the point I was trying to get to at that. That's all right. Well, that's what I did for the last however long.
It's all good, mate. It's all good. Well, I'll tell you a funny story about the steamroller event that I went to.
Yeah.
So one of the dudes that essentially has been reteaching me the game, Brock. He's a really good dude, really nice dude. He was on the table beside me. So this is my first ever steamroller. I'm against the little dragons, or the big dragons, whatever they are, the chimera, I think they're called.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm pretty intimidated. I'm sitting here looking at this massive dragon, very well painted. Really nice bloke to talk to about that anniversary. Really nice dude. Anyway, 11 minutes into my first ever steamroller event, the table beside me, Brock, gets tabled. He gets assassinated. Literally top of turn two. So I'm sitting here with a clock. First time I'm sweating. I'm like, man, I absolute brain fart. I watch him get tabled. And I'm like, oh no, I'm in real trouble. I'm in absolute trouble here. But yeah, anyway, I lost. I got assassinated, but it was good. It was really good to watch. Yeah.
No, that's
Anyway,
awesome. That's a one of the questions I had for you actually was about the clock. Like, how this was that your first time playing on the clock?
yeah, that was yeah, definitely the first time playing on the clock. Yeah.
Did you actually clock in any of your games? How did you find it?
Uh, no, it didn't clock. I made too many stupid mistakes before the clock had time to run out. But we were playing on a 1 hour clock, which I think it was good, but I think an hour and a half. But again, you can only get so many games in a day. Like it does speed it up a lot, but yeah, I think an hour and a half would really you can get like the top of turn three, whereas I barely made it to turn three in the other games.
Yeah. I
Mm.
so in a tournament setting, clocks are good
Mm.
obviously because they help you run on time and things like that.
Yeah,
I um I've recently found a real kind of appreciation for the clock because once you like when you start, you just make mistakes, right?
yeah,
But at a certain point, you get good at the game, and because the game's got pre-measuring, you can, in theory, I guess, like play a perfect game, like where
yeah,
you just know where everything is and all the rest of that jazz. And what I like about the clock on like when you get to that point is it makes you make mistakes again,
yes,
which I
yeah,
find really fun.
yeah, yeah. No, I my game two against Scorn, a really good experienced player. And a couple of times there, he fumbled the fury and all that. And again, I think it was the clock that added the pressure to an experienced player like that. I mean, I could just be talking out my ass here, and I've got no idea. He could have, it is what it is. But
No, I think yeah, I genuinely think because I had one of the games I played at the WTC
yeah,
literally came down to they had 15 seconds on their clock, and then I had 2 seconds, and then I lost basically from that, and it was super fun, but it was like this real like you start at a certain point you just start having to play quicker and accept that you can't do everything because if you try
yeah,
playing correctly, like or a perfect game, or however you want to phrase that, you will just
yeah,
not have enough time to do it. And I thought that was super cool.
yeah. With the clock bug, because I rolled in um, with Orgoth, and I had a lot of Reavers. I won't be making that mistake again if I'm going to be playing on the clock. Having to manhandle 10 Reavers and everything else. I'll be no. I'll take a monstrosity and a couple support things, I think, and that's about it.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's cool. The just looking at some of the questions I had written down.
No,
Oh,
yeah,
you were talking about Adam and stuff. Like, I guess how like what's some you like obviously it sounds like you're enjoying yourself, right? So I
yeah.
guess
Oh,
what's something that's because we talked about you found the models and you painted them and you thought about playing, but I guess you
yeah.
could quite easily bounce or whatever it is. Like what's something that you think that those people did to really make you feel welcomed or that you enjoy you've got a place or that you would enjoy this like um
Look, it's a good question. It was, to be honest, a lot of it is I get to just turn off. But with those guys, especially the patience that they took the time instead of, looking forward to the weekend, get some games in. They decided, let's sit there and teach. They put in the effort to teach over playing for themselves. Do you know what I mean?
yeah
And like that's pretty noble thing to do. To pretty much to be that sort of level to know the game a lot. These people are you played against a couple of these people are quite experienced, but for them to give up their time of their enjoyment to teach some random dude that just messages them on Facebook, that that actions speak louder than words. And since then, it's been good. Like they give me the time, and I give them the time.
yeah excellent and I guess it's something I like, or like this is my little passion project, right? Which is like
Mm,
all this community shit, which is like
mm,
how do you make people feel welcome and why bother like it's also um I saw you posting in the Discord recently about War Table, and War Table's a great resource, and a lot of people play on it, and it's a great way to meet people from other countries because they do leagues and stuff like that. And
Yeah,
I've played on it, and I don't mind it, but for me, it will never be as fun as being in person because so much of the
yeah,
reason why I like any kind of game like this is to go somewhere and hang out with people and all the rest of that stuff.
yeah, yeah. Wholeheartedly agree. It's good to disassociate myself from my day job to go and chill out with relax, just chilled out dudes. You know what I mean? Completely different. I love it.
Yeah. Yeah. I like because you were talking about the being able to like sort of like only think about the game. Um
Mm.
and I think this is where I was going earlier when I started randomly recapping like all these different
Yeah,
games I played in the past. I've always really enjoyed playing a game where I can like go deep on it or obsess about it or like think about it, and that's why I like the army list building component to it or the painting
yeah,
element of it or like something that allows you to like you know always think about the game and always have something you kind of want to do with it.
yeah,
um, is that kind of something you're enjoying as well?
yeah. Especially now and learning, synergy and mechanics. I would just run for like objectives. They're optional for me. Do you know what I mean? The whole thing, I was like, I need to kill the caster. That's it. Everything else optional. And I started to get a couple. I tried Oriax you know, I thought I'll give this dude, Reddit said he was pretty difficult to play, and I'm like, all right, I'll jump on there, do some stuff, and I thought this is pretty cool. I got tabled playing him, but now that I'm thinking about it post game, like, oh, there's all these different things that I could be doing. I could try this next time. Oh, I can't wait to paint this guy when he turns up. It doesn't end. It doesn't end.
Are you? I don't even know if you're aware of this. Are you aware of the January update? Has anyone
Yes.
talked
Yep.
about it? Yeah. Are you
Yep.
interested in that? This will, I guess, be your first one, or
Oh yeah, yeah.
would you
First
like it to
update.
stay the same? Or
So but I don't know. I'm still learning this one, and then it will change, and I'll just learn that one if things change. I know
yeah,
they're getting rid of the spell rack, which I think, for me, I think that's I kind of like that. Because remember the old days with Marquee. You got like Denegro, you got her card, you got what she does. That's it. I kind of like that.
you like. Sorry, I'm not sure if I'm following. You like the spell rack, or you like the fact it's getting removed?
I like the fact that it's getting removed. I reckon.
Okay, yeah. I think that's most people are pretty pleased that the spell rack's getting removed. I guess that's why they're doing it, right? But the
Mm.
general complaint with the spell rack is that there's always some better spells in the spell rack, and then you just always take those with every caster, and there's not many actual situations that you kind of go outside of that bubble. Um, so
Yeah,
even though the point of it was to give you options, the reality seems to be that it does the opposite.
yeah. I mean, I only took Carnage and Windstorm, I think it was, or yeah, I think that was it.
Yeah, I've spent the last pretty much all year playing creeks, and
Mm.
I only take four spells, and I rotate between them. And it's
Yeah,
mostly the same three, and every now and then there's like, well, I'll trade this one for that one. Do you have
mm.
a particular time you got to go or anything, by the way?
Mate, nothing. Nothing, dude. I'm sitting here, so I'm transitioning on to night shifts. Like I'm getting ready to start painting.
Oh yeah, sweet.
Like just getting into it. Now, so I want to transition onto night shifts. I stay up late to try and get the sleep cycle in case I have to work at night.
Oh yeah,
This is a transition night for me, so which is good.
yeah, that's all right. Well, we'll just sort of run till we uh, run
Yeah,
some sort of natural conclusion. Um,
yeah,
do you
man.
want to? Is there anything you want to talk about? Do you want to talk about the event you just had or anything
Um,
specific?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Though, so it, I'm telling you, if anyone's sitting on the sideline about a steamroller because quite competitive, all that sort of stuff. I mean, it is, but it's really if you're trying to learn more about the game and especially what your army can do, you know, it's extremely beneficial to go to one of these steamroller events. Like the three games that I played, like I got like just the exposure and the experience from that alone. Just my mind has just exploded with ideas on what I can try and do next Saturday, to pour whoever's willing to win against me. But
Yeah,
it's really good. Like it really really good to go and do a steamroller.
yeah. I think there's like a. You're right, I guess, in terms of the intimidation, and like once that
Mm.
was your first time being on clock, and you're playing these strangers that I guess you haven't met yet.
Yeah.
But I guess part of it is like I don't know, it's that being thrown in the deep end type thing.
Oh yeah.
Most people seem to that I speak to anyway seem to really enjoy that sort of experience.
Yeah. No, I loved it. I loved it, and I painted all the models up. So I went with a completely painted army. So whoever I was versing was going to be a win, but they get to enjoy looking, at a fully painted army.
How have you? So the I would say there's probably two things that, and I don't know if it's just because everyone's gotten a bit older, or if once again if it's this that contrast paints are so good. But to me, it seems like most armies are painted these days that I see, and I don't think that's
Mm.
just a Warhammer thing, like a War Machine thing. If I go to a random game shop, everyone's armies seem to be painted. I don't know if that's your experience.
Honestly, I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you. I mean, I remember your Legion of Everblight being painted, and a few of the other lads being painted, and that was my experience. with the past. But now, like I know, one of the blokes at the Bendigo Club paints with the non-metallic metals.
Oh, yeah.
Never really seen that before. Saw it. Gonna give it a go. I'm like, that looks so cool. It was the Infernals, I think it is. Yeah, and he's got they're painted pretty good with the non-metallic metals. I do like
Oh,
that.
was there only one guy playing Infernals? Just
In
'cause
in Bendigo,
I saw some pictures of the event on Facebook, and I saw an Infernal army I thought looked really good.
no, it was Menoth. There were two Menoth
Oh,
armies.
okay, yeah. Um, no, that's cool. Has anyone have you looked at or been interested at all in airbrushes?
No, see, I do wet glazes and all that sort of stuff. Like I don't know. I kind of like the bold poppy colors at the moment.
Yeah.
Like I haven't looked at that airbrushy stuff yet, but I'll probably look at that into the next full army that I paint. But yeah,
I
all good thing.
I bought an airbrush this year, and like I
Yeah,
haven't used it because I don't like when an entire army is painted with an airbrush. You can kind of tell it's got this like weird, like there's no
yeah,
crisp
yeah,
lines or anything. But
yeah,
I found it fun for like used it for all the glow effects on my cricks, and
yeah.
I did all the bases for the cricks as well with airbrush, just like just that sort of
Mm,
stuff like that. So I found it pretty fun. The other thing I was going to mention too is, once again, I don't know if this is your experience down there, but the proliferation of 3D printers has just
mm.
made the terrain so much better than it used to be.
Yeah, yeah. I did notice that. Like, especially the Bendigo Club, there's boxes of the shit, like boxes of terrain. Like it is insane. When I first saw it, and the guys are like, "Oh yeah, this is for us." Have a look. I'm looking at it and I'm going, "Holy shit, that is insane!" And then rolling down to that steamroller, the Gerald, I think his name is, who's running it. He had all his terrain and all that there. There was train every. There was like a train. There was a what do you call it? A forest map as well. All the trees look fucking sick. Like it was cool. And
Yeah,
the visually appealing side of it all. When everything's all painted, everything looks good. The scenery's all nice. It's good. I love it.
yeah, I really like they call it like 2.5D terrain, where like it's still got the little neoprene or the sort of base plate for like clearness of play, but then there's
Yeah.
like a nice 3D printed like painted house or a tree or like whatever it is on top of it. It just makes everything look cool. I
Mm.
really like it. It's been real fun.
Mm. Yeah, the look cool effect. Warmachine definitely has that at the moment.
Yeah, which is
Mm.
exciting because, and once again, you and I, like, I only just got back. Yeah, I said this before. I only just got back into this game after COVID. So you and I have
Yeah.
been out of it for a bit, but for a long time, just from what I've spoken to people, it sounds like it was almost the opposite. War Machine was the game without much terrain, and everything was just like
Mm.
made of mouse pad material and stuff like that. So it's
Yeah.
exciting that it sort of looks a bit sexy and things like that.
Yeah, yeah. I do like a board with lots of terrain. Lots of terrain. Yeah. Just not against what do you call it, those the wolves or whatever they are. They can see through woods and stuff. Yeah, I was watching another game on the weekend, and yeah, they were telling me, Old Umbry with their wolves and all that.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, no, no, I won't, I
I'm
won't.
I've been hankering all year to play Old Umbre. I think the moment I saw that there was like spooky dudes with like like animal skulls and antlers and stuff, I
Yeah,
was like, I'm all in. I'm a super edgelord. I want to play them dudes.
yeah. I haven't versed them yet, but I watched a couple of them play, and yeah, the rules look pretty cool.
Yeah, no, that's super cool.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, are you? Look, this is super early. Have you thought about coming to CanCon?
Oh, look, I know the guys asked me about it, and I thought about it. Thought about flying up there because I'll just fly the plane up there, but don't know yet. Don't know. We'll
Yeah,
see. We'll see. The problem is trying to get time off work at the moment. It's pretty difficult, but yeah, we'll see.
yeah.
I'd
Well,
love to. Definitely. love to.
Yeah, it's looking pretty good this year. I'll be going, and a few other, a bunch of other people from
Yeah.
Brisbane. Um, but no, that like if you want like what you were talking about before of like turning up somewhere and kind of having that kind of instant community and a whole bunch of fresh faces and stuff. Like it was
Yeah.
pretty cool. This would be my third, and I've really enjoyed it. Um,
Are
so
you going this year, are you?
yeah. This will be. So I think I said to you before, but I've got a kid due
Yeah.
in March. So my amount of free time is probably about to drop off a cliff. So
Yeah.
CanCon might be my last kind of event for a bit.
Yeah. Yeah. No, your free time, we'll just start painting, get in the painting. That's what I did.
Yeah. There's a few kind of locals who just had kids and stuff, and
Yeah.
yeah, it's very much do what you can when you can, and painting something you can kind of pick up and put down, and all the rest of that jazz.
Yeah. See, I'm lucky with my work. When I'm on night shift, I just sit there. If I'm not flying, I just paint. Just paint. Just pump it all. That's how I've painted so much so quickly, and just snowballed into this hobby.
Yeah, and
That's been
you
good.
you were sorry, going back to the 3D print stuff. I think you were messaging me before. You were thinking of getting into that and doing like 3D modeling and stuff as well.
Yeah. So there's a guy up in Bendigo. I'm trying to remember his name. I can't remember his name. Nice bloke. He's 3D printing, and every time I've gone up there, he's handing out these little 3D printed tokens and 3D printed equipment and stuff to all the guys, that I think are requesting it from him and all that. And these models look pretty awesome, and the fact that he's printed them off, and then I'm like, hang on, you got the mini crate factory or whatever it is. I clicked on that, and you can just buy the STLs and all that. I'm like, what is going on here? And I look at the price of 3D printers. I'm like, this could be my next little adventure. We'll see what
Yeah,
happens.
I like I I think it's super cool. I also
Hmm.
this is my little random hobby horse, and I'm sure 3D printers are bad for the environment. They use a bunch of chemicals and stuff like that. But
Yeah,
also shipping models around the world is also bad for the environment. So I'd love there to be some sort of system where, you know, whatever company is designs them, and then the models are printed in Australia and
yeah,
distributed from there. And yeah, because that was
hmm,
another thing too. You've missed out on this, but I think it was last year. It might have been the year before. It was either last year or the year before. For almost a whole year, Australia just didn't get supply. There was the changeover between Privateer Press and Steamforge Games, and I don't know, maybe we're still
hmm,
dealing with a bit of fallout from. I don't know what the actual cause was, but either way, we just
hmm.
didn't get stuff, and that was frustrating. And so, like, as much as supply is up and running now, and that's really cool. I think the
Yeah,
fact that there's now this like 3D printable subscription, and you can,
yeah,
Crucible Guard's the one at the moment, Dark Operations was
yeah,
before. Like it just solves so many sort of problems. Um,
yeah,
I Yeah, I'd be fascinated to know what it is looks like from the company point of view, because obviously the risk there, right, is that people just download your files and print stuff out, and then you don't make any money. But it seems like
hmm.
they're really the company seems to really think that the My Mini Factory thing's going well. So
Yeah. Look, I was interested to see that you can just 3D print a whole Dark Operations army. I think it is.
yeah,
Like I think that's awesome. Like the competitors, being GW and all that sort of stuff, they don't have any of that sort of I'll give you a nibble of the chocolate bar for free. Who does that? No one ever does that. But Steam Forge have done that, and I think that's really good.
and also going back to the like terrain we were talking about before, like
Mm,
you can they you get the terrain. You also like
mm,
because you can scale things up and down. You can turn like there's a one of the recent pieces of terrain they have is like this statue of like this troll kind of dude.
yeah.
And the troll guy it's a statue of used to be a model. Like one would assume they
Oh,
just took
really?
the old file of the guy, scaled him up, and then took some pieces out, and they're like, now he's a statue. So like you can do
Oh,
so
really?
much with all the random files you've got. You can turn models into
Yeah.
statues. You can, there's the new Crucible Guard. battle engines, like this train looking thing.
Yeah,
You can
yeah, I
just
saw that. Yeah,
yeah, you could like slice that in half, turn it on the side, and now it's like a piece of scenery. It's like a train that fell over or whatever. Like there's so much cool stuff.
yeah. One of the guys in Bendigo, he printed off the objective markers or these little flags, but then he put the Cricks logo on it.
Yeah.
And I thought that was pretty cool. I'm like, man, you can like, customize it and all that. It's
Yeah,
awesome.
Tim, I mean, it gets a bit funny when it gets to logos because like that's why you can't resell stuff. But like,
Yeah,
I've got all of my Crix tokens are the Crix logo, and then it's just
yeah,
got written on it what spell it is. And I'm cool. They were cool.
yeah. No, I love tokens. I got tokens for everything, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of the guys had he bought the 25 mil coin holders.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yep. And then, circled, printed out a bit of paper with whatever it is on there, and then stuck it in there. And it looks great. But he did it, I think it was a couple of weeks ago. I had a look at it. And before the Steamroller event, I was just making tokens for tokens for tokens. It was just tokens for everything. It was great.
Yeah.
But with a 3D printer, you can really jazz them up a bit. Be
Yeah.
pretty
Yeah.
good.
I've got the. Do you remember the old Mark II tokens and that was like writable or whatever it is?
Yeah, yeah, I've got them. Yep.
Yeah, I've
Yeah.
I've got bunch of them, and what I normally do, I just at some point I used to just write it on tape, but at some point I just got like a label maker from Officeworks, and then if I'm ever going to a big event, I just use the label maker to write out the spells and stick them on, just so they're nice and legible, like as opposed to using the whiteboard marker.
Yeah.
But yeah, tokens. I mean, that's half the fun of the hobby is like painting your models, doing all the bling, having a cool
Yeah.
case.
Yeah. Wait. Actually, that's what I was going to ask. So I've just got a big Tupperware container lined with, what do you call it, like soft paper and all that sort of stuff. What do people like? I see people moving their armies around these big boxes, these big privateer press boxes and all that. What, like, how do you move your army around?
So my favorite case is this
Mm.
one called Army Transport, which was by a company that went under during COVID. And it's basically the perfect dimensions for carry-on for flights and
Yeah.
use block foam or whatever it is. But even then, like that's sort of a bit old hat. Like
Mm.
from what I've managed to gather, most uh, most people these days seem to use magnetic cases or cases where the models
Mm.
lock in instead of foam cases. So
Yeah.
there's a few people who 3D print them or you can buy them. But one of the guys who went to WTC with me, Shane, he had this. It was about this. It's not scaling rail. Anyway, about
Yeah.
yay big, right? A fairly big case, but
Yeah.
it was carry on, and the whole thing was just magnetized in, and he just took that to WTC through flights, through all the rest of that stuff, and it didn't have any issues.
Yeah.
But
Right.
the other ones are there's ones where they're like little trays that are set inside because you know how the bases are. I don't know if tapered's the right word. They're on an
Yeah.
angle.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the right way. Yep. Yep. Yep.
There's bits where they're essentially just like they're like rails, so the base slides in underneath, and then it can't
Oh yeah.
move. So there's a
Yeah.
bunch of technology out there. I still use foam, but yeah, I think foam's a bit old hat now, and people are preferring either magnets or rails because then the foam doesn't rub against the model and like the paint doesn't rub off. But yeah, there's a bunch of stuff out there. It's fair
Yeah.
few options.
Right. Yeah. Because I need something. Yeah. Because I'm just kicking around, and I'll get back from. I got back from the event. There's a couple of touch ups on the bases. I'm sitting there, I'm fixing them before I put them in the cabinet. My OCD would be, it's going wild. So I need
Yeah,
something to. I need something to carry this stuff around.
yeah, and you spend so much on the models. Like at a certain point, it's just like, well, maybe I
Mm.
should spend something on the thing to go
Yeah. Yeah. Look, we won't tell the wife about all that sort of stuff.
in. Yeah,
Especially, I've got the another order in at the moment for all the mercenaries for Orgoth. We haven't. Wife doesn't know about that one yet.
yeah, yeah. That's all right. Um, do you want to? What else did you want to talk about?
Oh look, hey, whatever you want. I'm easy. I don't know. I'm really enjoying it. Like it's I don't know. I don't know what it is. It's just it's such a complex game to just turn my brain off and completely 100% focus on. Maybe that's because I'm learning, but it's I've really enjoyed it so far. Like the community who have been quite welcoming. Even talk to yourself. Realizing that hey, I got a an old friend that plays this, and he's got his own little YouTube channel, and here I am.
The
I
old
thought that was
YouTube
cool.
celebrity. It's what everyone's done these days.
Yeah, because I remember it was you with the old Umbry. You just got up. I'm like, what the fuck? Is that Connor?
Yeah. Oh, that's
But
right. You
that.
saw the unboxing that I did with Lewis. Lewis is also from Cairns as well. Fun fact.
Oh, really?
Um,
Yeah, right.
yeah, no, that was good. That was that was pretty fun. The so you and you don't have to go into this because if it's too personal, whatever it is. But like you said
Mm,
before, that are enjoying about this that you can kind of turn your not necessarily turn your brain off, but have something to focus on and put your brain on that.
yeah.
What did you used to use? During when you weren't playing, did you have something that you switched on, or was
So
that
it'd be video games. Lots
yeah,
of video games. Like yeah, like playing online multiplayer games, where I wouldn't pause. Or where I couldn't pause. And having a young family and all that, I'm like, yeah, I wish something else would pop up, and then Denegra fell out of the box, and
yeah,
again, it all worked out really well. Especially being in pre hospital medicine and all that sort of stuff. It's you really need something to completely turn off to, and Warmachine's filling that hole at the moment and enjoying it at the same time, which is perfect.
yeah, awesome. And to your point earlier, when you were talking about like, is it because you're learning? Um,
Mm.
I think I guess one of the things that I've found, so not to ring my bell too much, I guess, but I've just spent the last year trying to or getting ready to go to the WTC. So I went to the WTC. I was one of 10 people from Australia who went, and while I don't think I'm the 10th best player in Australia, like presumably I'm playing at some kind of high level, and the
Yeah.
whole time there's still more things to learn.
Mm.
And even all my games, I don't think I played them all perfectly, and like so I think the game's quite deep in terms of how much time you can sink into it if you have the time. Obviously there's you got everyone's got their own lives and stuff like that, but it's quite
Yeah.
a complex game. There's a lot to it, I think.
Oh, yeah. No, for sure. Like, I think I got three, or I interpreted three or four different ways of repositioning. Like you move, like you run, and that's the action that completes you, and then you reposition after that.
Yeah,
Yeah, and then like if you charge and then attack and then reposition after that. That's right, isn't it?
yeah, and when you reposition, you don't have to put all the guys in the unit within two of each other as well, so you can do some real funky moves and spread your unit
Yeah,
wider than it normally would.
I saw that. And how does that work? If so, you spread them all out. So I'll use the Harriers for example with Orgoth. They
Yeah.
got quite a large move, so I can move them and then I spread them out as wide as I want, essentially, like within the reposition. And then if the following turn, do I move? If I move one, let's just say the one on the far left, all the rest of them come with it too. Like there's no cohesion, minimum cohesion to move them all together or anything, is there? Or
Yeah, the moment you move one, the rest will like snap to it within that 2 inch
yeah,
bubble. But it's real
yeah,
cool, especially with things the Crix equivalent is these things called Night Terrors. So they're also
mm,
a unit where they've got the reposition and stuff like that. And I found them really good because I would run them central. And so I'd move one up and then I'd put one guy 2 inches to the left and one guy 2 inches to the right. And then I'd
yeah,
move each of them 3 inches. So they'd now be 5 inches away from the middle guy, and the middle guy
yeah,
might move backwards just to make sure he's not getting in the way of everyone else. And then
yeah,
suddenly my unit could go left or right next turn, and you never know. But the moment it goes left or right, the whole unit kind of commits, and that's interesting not only to play because it gives you a lot of flexibility, but also to
Yeah.
play against, because if you manage to bait the unit onto a flank, you know it can't go the other way, and suddenly like the game gets more simple for you because you know where things are. So yeah, it's cool. I think there's a lot of like depth to it. It's pretty fun. I mean, it's pretty abstract. Like some people I appreciate, like probably don't like that, but
Yeah.
yeah, if you get your head around it, it's fun.
Yeah, my like, cause on the weekend I just put the Harriers, for example, on the flanks, and I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna run up and see what it does to that. It didn't do too much to a couple of things, but cleaned up on the other things. But yeah, running them center, that's a good idea. Yeah, might give it a go.
Yeah, yeah. Did you run 2 units or 1 unit?
Just one, just one.
Yeah, and once again, it depends on your army a bit, but if you're only
Mm.
running one, if you do the thing I just said where you spread it, it makes it feel like you've got two, like it could be either one side or the other side.
Yeah.
It becomes one again suddenly when you actually commit. But yeah, is there anything like what's your so you're just you've played Orgoth a bit? Are you planning on sticking with Orgoth for a bit, or you've suddenly got the shininess and you're looking at other stuff? I know you just said you bought all the mercenaries, so it sounds like you're planning on staying with Orgoth for a bit.
Yeah, so I'm going to stay with Orgoth only because I've got a couple more models to get. The Siege Turusk, or I think it is, the that
Yeah,
one.
Siege Trask, yeah.
Yep, yep. I've got to get that. I won't get the Colossal because I'll get that new super heavy jack, that dragon looking thing.
Oh, the one they've just announced, I don't know
Yeah.
what it's called. It starts with A, I think.
Yep, yep. So I'll get those two before I pivot off to like a Crucible Guard or something like that. But my rule is if I buy a model, I've got to have the rest of them painted. So
Yeah.
that rule will save me from the grey pile of shame. Hopefully, hopefully.
Yeah, like since getting back into the game,
Mm.
I've really tried to only like to actually paint everything I play with and to only play with painted models.
Yeah,
And so that's
yeah,
kind of
I
the
am.
thing where if I want to play something, I kind of have to paint.
Yeah, especially like buying the army box, or the expansion box and all that. I really wanted to use the Reaver skirmishers, for example. Not the skirmishers, the assault, whatever the ones are with the harpoon. These
Oh,
guys.
I can't tell you. I know they were called Reavers. I can't tell the difference between them all.
Yeah, these ones were the ones that I really, really wanted to use with the harpoon and bring them in and all that. These are the last guys I've got to paint. The one unit that I wanted to, that I thought they looked cool, and they're the last unit I've got to paint. So I painted everything in reverse, and it's helped me just pump through.
Yeah. Is there like when you've painted them, I guess you
Mm.
do you when you like do you think to yourself, I'm gonna try like some particular technique, or you just paint whatever you think looks cool?
So that's why I started with all the cadres. So the reason why I chose Orgoth is, to be honest, they were the easiest to paint. Like
Yeah.
all the other ones, I was doing like wet glazes and highlights, hard highlights, all that sort of stuff. Whereas Orgoth, I was just slapping down a base coat, highlight, and a couple of washes or something like that, and they were popping up good. And I'm like, hey, not bad. I can
Yeah.
enjoy this. Real
Yeah.
satisfaction when you paint a unit and you get, well, for me, and I add them into the display cabinet. Real sense of accomplishment. And because I painted everything in reverse, I still see the guys that I really want to paint, and I'm like, I've got so many more to do before I get there. But it's not forced, which is a good thing. I want to
Yeah.
paint them.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, the I did I did the army that's just the Cephalix guys or Dark Operations, the one
Yeah,
that's
yeah, yeah,
3D printable. So I
yeah,
had an army of them that I painted last year before the 3D
yeah.
print files came out. Or maybe it was the year before. And one of the little mini kind of projects I put on myself was I really wanted to do verdigris, the when the brass rusts, it turns green effect.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. The aqua, or the greenish sort of color.
Yeah, yeah. I think
Yeah.
it's called verdigris.
Mm.
Yeah, and that was really fun. I think it's really, really. I can't remember if I've sent you some pictures. If not, I'll have to send you some pictures of them because I think they're super
Yeah.
cool. And it was really
Mm.
fun to paint.
Yeah, good.
And
Yeah,
the
I've not done that before. Not that sort of stuff. Mm.
yeah,
I
the
still,
other. Oh, you go. Sorry.
yeah, I still paint like was it old school Warhammer? You know, real poppy colors. You know, the clear shades. You know, real poppy. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm still on that boat at the moment because that's what I left off with. So
yeah, yeah. My
mm.
you were saying it before. My Legion of Everblight are very much painted like that. Like they're sort of this sort of orange and purple kind of
Yeah,
style that I
yeah,
think is really fun. Um,
mm.
Yeah, the other thing I'm probably on these days in terms of just random stuff is I really like the 3D base toppers that
Oh,
you
yeah,
that you
yeah,
print out and stuff like that. Just
yeah,
I found that like I enjoy like basing models and like putting them assembling and stuff like that, but I
yeah.
also just take forever. Like I must get lost or like just not pay attention to what I'm doing because like I'll spend hours just putting little bits of flock on a base and it's just
Uh,
doesn't not get me any closer to having my army completed.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I've got 5 or 6 different basing styles going on here, all different ones from the the beachfront to the hills and all that.
Yeah.
I've enjoyed it. It's good,
Yeah,
especially
awesome.
when you get a whole group. Like once you, I don't know. For me, it's real satisfying completing them all, having them all look the same. You know, keeping that unity between them all. Yeah, it's enjoyable. Well, for
Yeah.
me anyway.
I
Mm.
did I think something I found in fun from like a painting point of view is like being okay with things not being perfect. Like I did this pirate army last year and like
Yeah.
it was the least effort I've ever put into painting something. Like it was really like a
Mm.
what is the least I can do and still have this kind of look okay.
Yeah.
And every model got like basically, it was like that kind of zenithal thing where you undercoat it black first and then you like spray it white, so it's got a bit of natural shading. And then
Yeah.
I painted like a color on every pirate. So like there was a yellow unit where every guy had a yellow shirt or yellow pants or whatever it is. I
Yeah.
painted anything that was silver. I painted like a gold hilt or whatever it is. And then
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
washed them one color, and that was literally all I did. And it came out looking real cool. I really enjoyed that. That was like a
Yeah.
super fun little project.
Yeah. What do they say? Keep it simple, stupid.
Yeah, and I think it
Mm.
just go, sorry, give me a sec. I just realized I've got them here. I don't know if you can see them.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Right.
Nice.
And I did a little basing as well, like some sandy basing.
Oh,
And
nice.
a real I guess lesson in that as long as as long as the entire army's painted and
Yeah.
they all have cohesion in that way, it'll just
Yeah.
look cool.
Yeah. Yeah. I did. I got a few compliments on the weekend about that too. You know, because the entire army was painted. Everything was similar. They all had the green, glowy sort of stuff going on there. Looked good. And a couple of the other guys. There was another one, Old Umbry, that was like real dark wolf looking look to it. That looked really sick. That looked cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree with you. Mm.
Yeah, I definitely think that like you're better off having an entire army painted at like a mediocre standard than like half an
Yeah,
army painted really well and the other half like just being
yeah,
plastic, whatever. Like it's
yeah.
super
But
cool.
look, people who don't paint their own, it doesn't matter. Doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
yeah, yeah. I'm not it's just like I guess for me it was a real lesson in like because I don't know if you were this way, but like I would find that I didn't paint my armies not because I didn't want to, but because I spent too much time on every model trying to make it look good. Um, and I was just
Yeah,
like, you know what? Like, so
yeah. No, that's yeah. I know what you mean. Like for the heroes and the solos and all that. Like whenever I get a card rate, I'd paint the leader first, the warcaster or whoever it was first, and
yeah,
I'd go full tilt. I'd put in all the effort as much as I can, and then you can gradually see the rest of them go to a standard that's they're all the same after that. So I go hard once and then chill for the rest.
Yeah,
That's what I
awesome.
do. Yeah.
Um, I might start wrapping us up. I guess I maybe
Hmm.
have one more question just to kind of end things on. Is there anything else you wanted to say, or
No,
like
I'll just
generally?
message you. I'll
No,
just message you
that's
about your question.
I guess like what do you want this to be for you? Like where do you see this yourself being in the future with this hobby? Like what do you want out of this game or hobby or whatever you want to phrase it as?
So out of this at the moment is it's definitely the separation from the real world. Do you know what I mean?
Like the escapism or
The escapism, yeah. So this the piece I have of where my whole brain is dedicated to this. You know what I mean? Painting, my brain turns off. Playing it, my brain's mush essentially while I'm trying to figure out what the hell I'm doing. And like for me, the escapism is really what it is. And to top that is I get to meet new people. We all like the same shit, so hey, I love that.
yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah, and
but
I think do you just say everyone likes the same thing? Is
yeah,
that what you
we
said
all like
before?
the same shit.
Yeah. I think one of the interesting things I like about the hobby is ironically the opposite
Mm.
of that, which is I feel like it's one of the few places where you meet people that you don't have things in common with. Like obviously you've got something in common, which is you like games or whatever it
Yeah,
is, but people are from all walks of life. Whereas I
yeah,
feel like as you get older, you more increasingly only know other people who are kind of like you. I don't know
yeah,
if you found that experience or
yeah. No, I completely agree with you on that. Like, I can only speak realistically for one group, and that's the Bendigo gaming group. That's completely random people that I wouldn't interact with in the real world because I've got no reason to talk to random people. Do you know what I mean? Like that was, but going into that gaming store, then throwing some dice and just clicking, just talking shit straight from the get go. It's like, yeah, no, this is cool.
yeah, no, I think it's a great way to, as I said, like my little hobby horses community. It's a great way
Yeah,
to meet new people and have a community. So on that like positive note, I guess we can finish things up there. I'll stop the recording and thanks everyone for watching. That's about it.